Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really good to be able to join you again today, and especially to see the next cohort, the 13 to 17-year-old. So the theme for the conference is Be Bold, Be Confident. And so for today, I want to focus on being bold, really, and to see how we can have young people take that challenge to be brave, to be bold, and to live their life with boldness. And when we say boldness, it doesn't mean you should just have an I don't care attitude. But essentially, when you are bold, you are somebody who is aware of your strengths, your weaknesses, and you're also aware of the environment you are in order to create impact. So I want to theme this around generation equality. So when I say generation equality, it means we are now in a crucial stage of your life formation. For me, I think childhood is the most precious and the most significant aspect of any human being's life because you grow very quickly, but most importantly, many of your values are formed at this stage. It might interest you to know that Nigeria is a very young country. Out of the 180 million people in Nigeria, 31 million are below the age of 15 years old. And we also have quite a huge youth population as well. The current definition of youth in Nigeria is anyone between the ages of 15 and 29 years old. So some of you are children because you are not yet 18, but once you are between 15 and 17, you are also a youth. And there are certain policies that are targeted towards enhancing young people so that they can tap into their potential. Nigeria is situated in Africa, and Africa has the largest youth population in the world. By 2050, Nigeria is bound to have a population of 402 million. Can you imagine that? But it will depend on if we continue at this rate of our growth to attain that number. And what does that mean for us as a people? What are the potentials for sales, for health, for opportunities? But currently, Nigeria is not doing the best it should be doing with its children. UNICEF shared a research that showed that 13.2 million children are out of school, the highest in the world. So for many of us on this call today, we are the lucky ones. But if 13.2 million children are not in school, how is Nigeria ever going to be able to reach its potential? Because it means that that number of children will grow up without the necessary skills they need in order to be useful and impactful citizens. So when I say generation equality, I'm looking at your generation, and it's a call to you guys that you can drive economic change in the community because we all want economic opportunities that will ensure qualitative life. We all want to be able to do work. And really, economic resilience is about finding solutions to problems. So if there's a problem in Nigeria today, you can fix it. You have a longer time frame to test your hypothesis, to test your experiments, and to see what works. Generation equality sits more strongly around the issue of gender equality. And gender equality for men and women, boys and girls, is about realizing equal opportunities, treatment, and access. You will find that even though in present-day Nigeria, there are more women going into schools, graduating, becoming leaders, we are still struggling with giving equal opportunities. There are still some places people say, oh, a girl can't do this, a woman can't do that. The call for your generation today is that this issue about gender inequality must end with you guys, because you guys are the generation that we believe would achieve equal rights for women, men, boys, and girls. When we talk of generation equality also, it's important to look at what we are facing in our world today. Climate change and world disasters have created a huge problem for us. Some of you might have heard of the group called Fridays for the Future. If you don't know them, it's a group started off by a young Swedish girl, Greta Thunberg, where she talked about calling for a school strike for climate change. Basically, that every Friday, students should use the opportunity to talk about climate issues. They won several awards. And most importantly, they gave a platform for young people between the ages of 8 and 16 to be able to have an opportunity to speak to the world on the stage. Because you need to realize one thing. For many of us who are above 40, we might have how many more years to live on Earth. For you, your life is just starting, and there's no planet B. If there's no planet B, you have to look after this environment. We have to begin to reverse the harm we've committed to our environment through throwing rubbish, through burning fossil fuels, through doing things that have created the greenhouse effect and has led to crazy weather situations and harmful behaviors. In fact, many people have also linked the COVID-19 pandemic to some of the environmental degradation we're seeing in our world today. So I'm going to be talking about 3 issues, which I think some of you would have seen in one shape or form in your conversations, either in school, at home, or online. So one is Me Too. You might have heard about the Me Too, and Me Too is talking about sexual harassment and talking also about discrimination many women face in the world of work and also in school. The Me Too hashtag rose to give voice to women and girls to share their stories. And for many of them, they use the online platform in order to do so. It brought a greater awareness about how boys and girls should relate. When we say we're in a relationship, what it means, what it also means to be attracted to someone, and what consent means, and why it is important that people who touch others inappropriately or abuse people or use their power to abuse people are actually brought to justice. The second issue I want to highlight is Black Lives Matter. For many of us, we are all connected now, whether it's on social media, on TV, we can see what's happening in the world. Racism is real. Racism occurs when one race thinks that they are better off than another. Black Lives Matter came about as a form of consciousness to challenge this notion that Black lives actually matter. People have issues with it when the riots broke out earlier this year, when George Floyd was killed, but it raised even further the issues about police brutality, but also about how a society treats those who it considers less, who have less access to justice and opportunities within the country. And brought to fore the fact that even though America has overcome slavery, have overcome those issues, it is still playing a role in society today, and it needs to end. The good thing is that it is young people also that are channeling those energies and are raising consciousness that Black Lives Matter, and in actual fact, all lives matter if you consider everyone important. The third issue is the EndSARS. If you're in Nigeria today, there's no how you wouldn't have heard about EndSARS, even if you're outside Nigeria, because there were protests by EndSARS promoters in nearly 30 states in Nigeria and in over 15 countries elsewhere in the world, where people went in front of embassies, in Nigerian embassies and key places in key cities to say enough of police brutality in Nigeria. What drove this was the harmful impact of SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad agents on people, particularly young people. When Amnesty International did its research, it published its research in June 2020, we showed that young people, particularly young men between the ages of 17 and 30, were targeted by police officers. Why? Because they feel that they shouldn't have an iPhone, they shouldn't have expensive gadgets like computers, and they were suspected of being involved in crime because they couldn't understand, police officers couldn't understand why young people could afford or have access to these things. The challenge we're facing now is that young people have found their voice and are speaking loud and clear, and they want their governments to respond to this. And we hope the Nigerian government will listen to this rather than finding ways to suppress these voices, but rather the Nigerian government should find ways to punish those officers that have led to the deaths of young people in Nigeria today. So what does it mean to be bold? I am going to give 5 examples today very quickly. The first is bold body confidence. I know that at this stage in your life, you are more conscious about how your body is developing, and it's natural, it's pretty natural. All of us went through this. But know this, your body is unique to you, and no one has the right to make you feel uncomfortable or shame you because of your body. It doesn't matter whether you're thin, you're fat, as long as you realize that this is your body. You wake up in the morning, you can walk and use your hands and your feet. And even if you have any form of disability, you're alive and you're able to move yourself, you should consider yourself very worthy and carry that body with pride, because that body is going to serve you well into several years. The second issue is your brain box. And here I'm not talking about those that are brainy and those that are not. I'm talking about the fact that you have a brain, you can reason for yourself, you can read up things for yourself. You don't have to listen, you don't have to believe everything you're told. You can do the research, you can check it yourself. And it means that apply yourself based on the knowledge that you have, but you can push yourself even further because you have a brain. Right now, human beings are only using a fraction of their brain. With a bit more application, you'll be able to achieve a lot more with your can-do attitude. The third is bold voice. Oftentimes in our society, especially African societies, we say, oh, children should be seen, not heard. But I tell you, you are generation equality. So that means you can express yourself using your voice, using music, using art, using dance, any other means of expression that you have in order to explain what is happening to you. I'm going to call on everyone today. If you see something that is wrong, find someone that you trust to share it with. Do not suffer in silence. You have a voice, please use it. The fourth is brilliance outlook. Whatever you do, be excellent in it, be brilliant in it. If you are very good with creating crafts, do it brilliantly. If you have a brilliance outlook, it doesn't matter if other people are not giving their best, you give your best, because ultimately you have a role to play in society. You have a role to play in your family. You owe a duty to yourself to give yourself the best. And you can only do that if you have a brilliance outlook to everything that you do, to the best of your abilities. And it also means that once you are aware of your abilities, no one, absolutely no one, can take that away from you. And finally, to be bold means you have a beautiful spiritual awakening. When I say spiritual awakening, I'm not necessarily talking about Christianity or Islam or any religion that you believe in, but I'm talking more about a consciousness that we all are connected spiritually and that we owe it to ourselves, to our community, to build that awareness. And it's important that we recognize that sometimes in life, things will not always go the way you want it to go, but that you are a being that has been created by God to achieve your full potential, and you own that even in your spirituality. I would like to leave us with a quote by Nelson Mandela, which I believe many of you know. For those who don't know him, he is the South African anti-apartheid revolutionary. He was a former president of the Republic of South Africa and was a Nobel Peace Laureate in 1993. He said, a nation should not be judged by how it treats its highest citizens, but its lowest ones. And so it's a call for you to go out and exhibit your brilliance in every shape and in every capacity that you hold, but also most importantly, a call to Nigeria to hold its children and its young people and treat them with the respect that young people deserve. Because a nation is measured by how it takes care of those who have no power to do anything back to them, but who would one day grow up to achieve greatness, and that greatness would also reflect in their country and nationhood. Thank you very much.